You're now tuned in to the Hate This podcast. It's your girl, Miss Cass.
Hey y'all, it's Keita.
Episode 2.
What you got for us?
Permission to please.
Permission to please. I don't know. I think that's going to get very, 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 very interesting. Very, 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 very touchy.
What else we talk about?
We're going to talk about chemistry and compatibility. They're not the same thing, even though they can be confused. That's going to be interesting. What else we talking about?
Boundaries. And I think boundaries is important because I feel like it's different in the dating stage, the relationship stage. You know, if you're already married, it probably be different then. And I feel like once you are in a relationship, I feel like men feel like there is no boundaries. So.
Women too. There are some things that we feel like, you know.
Yeah, like
I could do that whenever I want to.
So we're gonna get into all that. But first, what the fuck is that? What's going on in the world?
How you feeling, Kat?
So, after episode 1, Valentine's Day, pre-Valentine's Day episode, we went over the statistics. They said that $192. I just want to ask you, like, was that in the ballpark of what you guys spend on Valentine's Day?
This is interesting. This is good. Okay, so you want to talk about my Valentine's Day?
Yeah, how much did you spend? Consumers, we did a statistic, and it said that consumers, it was a different age range. I think 18 to 24 spent $192 and 33
to 45
spent
close to 3,
yeah, something like that.
Okay, so I would say definitely close to $300, if not a little bit more. I did not spend as much money as I usually would on Valentine's Day because I didn't do the gift. I didn't get a gift. I got a car. I did like some little cute stuff in the house, you know.
Right.
I bought some cute stuff like for me, for him. But we did go out to eat, which I tried to make cheaper.
Of course. I don't know what's wrong.
But it was just like, you know, whatever. Like, we're gonna do this, and yeah, I want to try this here.
So it's safe to say you didn't keep it under $200.
I did not keep it under $200. It was very close to, and I ended up offering to pay for the drinks because the meal was so much, of course.
Okay,
so
Shakita.
Anyway, together we spent about $400, if not more.
So if I can't wait.
Not more than $450.
I said $500 the average. She said $500.
But remember, I only said that because I thought you were talking about one person, not both people.
Okay, so I can say that we probably didn't keep it under $200 either.
Okay.
So what would you think? Being that we know the statistic, we've experienced Valentine's Day, we kind of paid attention to it more than we would. What do you think the average number will be moving forward, like next year?
I feel like we should spend less money on Valentine's Day.
Fuck that, though.
I'm sorry.
I need a nigga to spend more money on me on Valentine's Day. Stop. My boyfriend did good on Valentine's Day. Oh, are we saying that?
Oh.
Yeah. I had a good Valentine's Day. What's going to say that about? But it is what it is. Moving on. We did the Valentine's Day thing. Now, is there anything going on right now in the world that you feel some type of way about?
Let me think. I felt like it was just something that I was looking at. It's very much something.
It's very much a few things.
Okay, help me out. I can't. Okay.
Well, what I saw most recently before I came here was the Tommy and...
Oh, okay. Yeah. It wasn't staged? I felt like it was staged.
I don't know, but I didn't buy it, of course. The fact that they're on pay-per-view for $29 and people are going... Okay, let me say this. I respect them bitches.
Respectfully.
Your headliner fight with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd doesn't give a fuck. He's a millionaire. He's having these fights. And Tommy and Natalie Nunn they're a part of this. I'm not fucking paying $30 to see Tommy and Natalie.
Wait, I have a question though. Wasn't it premiered on Zeus? Like, so if you have the Zeus app, you can't watch it for free?
No. Oh. You still had to pay the $29.
Oh, I didn't know.
Because I honestly went to go look.
Wow.
Because it looked like Natalie knocked out Tommy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see it.
It looked, but okay. Can I just say
you
one
think
thing about Tommy?
It was fake?
No. Somebody said, I don't know if y'all into this, but I'm kind of into this. I watched them on Zeus, and somebody on there said something about Tommy being on drugs. And she looked like she could have been. From the clips I said, I'm like, is she? I just can't unthink it.
She was like, you just can't even talk to me. I feel you.
And Eddie is like big, and Tommy is like this small. And I know that really don't mean nothing, but that kind of like, it's kind of like, I don't know how to say it. Like, big girls be having an advantage sometimes. I don't know. I don't know if it's really fighting, but I also, the weigh-in I felt like was staged, so I don't know how serious Tommy took the fight and how serious Natalie was taking the fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But Tommy, it looks like Tommy got knocked out.
Yeah.
And I just want to wrap this up by saying, you're too fucking old for this shit. Like, you guys have so much influence. Like, why are we resorting to a fight? You're both mothers. It's kind of like, okay, the thing is, I love the reality TV shit. It's entertaining. We watch it together. We talk shit about it. But we're not them bitches. No. And I really don't know a lot of women in real life like that. No. So I just wish that we can, it's a balance. Yeah. Like, it's a balance, sis. Like, you a boss ass bitch. You flying on PJs and you doing all these things. Like, you fighting for the pay-per-view. Cool. You got money for it. But at the end of the day, both of y'all look dumb as shit. And I kind of don't respect it.
But only if it's like a real thing. But like I say, like if it's staged and they are willing to look dumb as shit for the money, then I mean, don't float my boat, but
it is.
It is.
While we're on fucking Tommy old ass, her recent comments about
Chris Brown, baby.
You're not cool with Chris, sis.
She
don't go up and try to just hold someone's child. And it could be she probably felt like, come on, Chris, like I'm Tommy. Like, no.
And I don't even know what happened, but her live after that, when she was like, fuck you, and fuck baby, and fuck that, I was like, okay, hold on, girl. Like, just chill out a little bit. Like, okay.
Maybe it's a drug, like you said.
That's what I'm saying. I can't unthink it. I did not start this rumor. Somebody else said it on Betty's West, on Zeus. I think it was the girl Razor, and I think she might be from here.
Disclaimer, this is not fact.
Yeah.
This is just our opinion on these things, and this is what we're speaking about.
Okay, let me get into this. Joey Badass, who we know from Power, right? Let's go back to Soraya. We first met her on Will Boo Boo Kitty Empire.
Mm-hmm.
We first met her on Empire. And then recently, her and Jacob Lattimore from The Chi, y'all know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He started on Nickelodeon 2 or Disney Channel or whatever. They were recently dating. They were literally just dating like before today when Joey Badass posted a picture of him and Soraya. And they was just at dinner. She was looking at him and he was looking? He was looking at the camera and with no caption. It was just like the little black heart. Y'all know that's my favorite emoji. It was the black heart, no caption. And then, so people in the comments like, oh my God, this better be for this. This better be for that. This better be just the thing. She better not. I did my research. I'm gonna tell y'all. I went to Jacob Lattimore's page. All of the fucking pictures all of the pictures that he had of Soraya. Sorry from I don't know the pronunciation of her name. All the pictures of her are gone, and all the pictures on her page of him are now gone. And so
it's official. You know that's what all the celebrities do. They unfollow each other and everything. Like that's just their move.
It's
official.
Okay.
Real shit.
Okay.
To a real bitch.
Okay.
In real life, if you had to pick between Jacob Lattimore or Joey Badass, who are you picking?
I'm gonna say something I'm not supposed to be saying. I mean,
I was supposed to say that.
The Chi is one thing, and then Power is a whole nother thing. So I mean, those are her options at the end of the day.
I'm saying in real life.
In real life,
the real Joey Badass, you met that nigga in real life at a restaurant or some shit. Then you see Emmett. Like, if both of them coming down the street, both of them was back smacking.
Don't say Emmett. That's not his real name.
Oh,
Jacob.
Jacob.
If you say Emmett, what's his name on Power? What's
Rock.
Joey Badass name?
Rock. No, not Rock.
No.
Unique.
Yes. If you put Emmett and Unique, we're going to pick Unique.
I'm going to pick Unique.
Yeah, bitch, we are going to pick Unique. But if you put Jacob, it's the same. It's the same. Okay, either way.
Joey. No disrespect to you, Jacob Lattimore. Like,
yeah, you're great. We love you.
You can get it. No disrespect to you. But if I had to pick between you and Joey. But Soraya, shout out to you. She's doing her thing. She was also in the Diddy's video. Mm-hmm. So she's a singer. She's young and she's lit. But Jacob's young and lit. Like, you could get a bitch too, bro.
She's also in... She's also in 50 Cent's other with Mr. Flannery, BMF.
And how do you think he feels about that? Because at the end of the day, she's doing sex scenes with Lil Meech. Emmett is fucking doing sex scenes with Lala.
Oh, and Lala
like,
and BMF.
and for them to be so young, like we have to like maybe I don't know. Maybe it could have affected it.
What the fuck is love?
Okay.
Okay.
What the fuck is love? Moving on.
Second episode, we have a guest for you all.
Yes. We have Nisha in the house.
We have Nisha in the house.
If you don't know Nisha, you're going to get to know her. Nisha is Shakita's close friend. And also, you may know her from Vigo as well. Law school, boss mom.
Boss and mom.
I feel like she's been through a lot and she can, provide a perspective on this permission to please, this boundary conversation, this chemistry versus compatibility thing. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. Let's welcome Nisha to the show.
Hey girl.
Hello. Welcome to Hey Sis.
Thank you.
If you don't know what Hey Sis is, you're about to find out real soon.
But
But tell us a little bit about yourself.
oh my god. Okay, so Jesus Christ, no, because
Come on, it's okay. Just give us a little.
Because I'm literally in my mind like going over what she told, what she said, and then what she said, and then like, well, what I'm supposed to say.
just your own rendition of what we
Well,
said.
I mean, just like in totality, one, I'm like totally humbled that you would even ask me to be here. Like I was telling you earlier, I was like, oh, so I'm coming to watch your podcast, and you're like, no, you're gonna be a guest. And I'm like, what? Girl, I was coming to pull up my popcorn and laugh. So, like, with entering into the conversation with that, I'm just a black woman who has come from nothing and made it to something.
Amen.
Yes.
There we go. I like that. Perfect.
Let's drink like
Hey.
Thank
Thank
you. Everything. Okay, well, welcome, Nisha. I'm definitely happy to have you. Hey Sis, it's all about those hard conversations that we don't want to have on relationships, dating, sex. It's just like that. Really, I wasn't supposed to say that moment, and knowing that we all been through some things, so we felt like permission to please, boundaries. We felt like you can add some good insight onto that. So
I'll give you what I can now.
I'm sure you give it all. Give it all to us. Okay.
No holding back. We want.
Okay. Open.
We want the
We
real.
want full need.
Yeah.
Okay, because we want to get into it. This is some spice. Let's start with permission to please.
Let's start with yes.
I need to know what that means.
Okay. Okay.
Permission to please. I think I was real adamant about this, and this is something that I call and tell Shakita about when I feel some type of way about it. But basically, permission to please is like permission to please me. I feel like when you get into a relationship, you kind of feel that when you're in a relationship with a man and y'all been together for some time, it's no longer that invite into me, or it's like, okay, you my girl, so the pussy is mine, and whatever I want, and you can get it. But sometimes, like, ask for permission. I could be having a fucked up dream about a time where something was forced onto me sexually, and I wake up to your hard dick. Like, I'm not for that right now. Like,
I'm not ready.
I'm asleep. I could be having those thoughts. I could be dreaming about something, and here come you. So it's like different from when you're first dating a guy. I feel like there's more of a, can I? Is it okay? As opposed to being with someone for a long time and they automatically feel like they have that right to intrude. So that's pretty much permission to please.
Well, just one aspect of it.
Yes.
Just like the one aspect of it. So what do you think about that?
That's a whole lot, because I think it's a generationally relevant conversation. Now that a lot of those things, those type of issues have come to light, the Me Too movement and all that kind of stuff, and just how, women are treated unequitably at work and at home. So I understand that piece. But another half of me is saying, okay, when is enough enough? Because, like, when do we when is there just a fluid relationship? I believe like all partnerships and relationships now are becoming like a very militarized thing, where it's like, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. My right is this, my right is that. Not saying, trust me, not saying that, you know, people need to, but it's like, it's almost getting robotic, like losing the flow of things. And that's not to say, you know, and that's not to say that, of course, you know, women's bodies are our bodies, and you need permission before you do anything with my body. But what happened to the time where that permission was fluid? You know what I'm saying? And not so much sign your name on this contract before we, you know, we shook hands and remember when, because then what happens when,
that's interesting,
because what happens the moments when you have given permission and it's like, okay, you can, and then
it's just dry.
Maybe it's dry, or maybe you don't feel like it. Does he get his money back now that you granted permission and then took it back? You know what I mean? Because so it's still eliminating choice in a way. I don't know, but
okay,
yeah.
So you're just saying like you're like waiting to give permission kind of takes away from like the natural like. And I can see that. It's kind of like it's kind of like nobody wants to set up to have sex. Like,
yeah,
hey,
tonight's the night.
Can you? Hey, babe, do you mind if I? It's like if no, I don't. Like you should just be
like let's go with it.
So I guess I never thought about it that way.
But it is a conversation, I would say, because permission to please to me makes me assume that we're in a serious relationship. Because outside of that, you're always needing permission.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you saying it's levels.
It's levels.
Yeah.
So like, so now we're in a serious relationship. So that is a conversation that needs to be had if there are traumatic things that happen, you know, or whatever. If the person just has an ism about you sneaking up on them, you know, whatever the ism is, that's a conversation that you can have in the serious relationship that hopefully when you get to a point that y'all both grooving on the same wavelength, you know, the I that means permission, or the back it up that means permission, and you know, and things like that. Just, I don't know, just so to me it's more organic and I can feel it.
Okay. I'm an extremist, so I'm going to take it all the way left for you. How do you feel about women who are married who say they were raped by their husband?
Well, they definitely were. I mean, at the end of the day,
can you be raped by your husband?
Question.
Because if you're saying the natural flow of things, of course you've been with this man for 10 years, so the natural flow of things is him getting what he wants naturally. But if that woman kind of, she doesn't want that at the time, and he takes that from her.
Well, him getting what he wants, like point one, that's not the natural flow of things in a healthy working relationship. So, you know what I'm saying? So if he's willing to take those liberties with his body, with her body, that's a whole nother issue in and of itself. You know what I mean? Versus just permission to please. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're with a person that is going to violate you in that way, one, why are you with them? You know what I'm saying? So it's just a whole nother conversation. I really think for the most part, like serious permission to please will only be a conversation that needs to be had by people who may have experiences, you know what I mean, that
might stop them.
Yeah, and it does not have to be like traumatic or dramatic or anything. Some people just don't like being sneaked up on. Like, no, don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't crawl up behind me. That's not sexy.
I do get that. I get that.
That
like maybe that's only a subject, or maybe that's only a problem if this is not always.
I don't think so though. I think that I think it's a problem for a lot of women who haven't experienced. I just think because they are in a relationship, they don't feel like they can say that.
That's true.
Because you can be mad at your nigga one night and he waking up trying to fuck you and emotionally like, nigga, I don't want you touching me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do this because this is what you want right now. But you didn't really want that.
Yeah. But that's why I'm saying this is like permission to please is like being housed in so many other conversations that need to be had first. You know what I mean with that? Because why do you still have those feelings? Not saying that those feelings will go away, but have you dealt with them? Have you done the work? You know what I mean? That's a conversation that needs to be had before we mandate a universal permission to please. You know what I mean? So you see what I'm saying? So there's like a lot of why is he the type of person that cannot read your energy or know you enough? You know what I mean? Or take any time to just see. I mean, we as women, we know when something wrong with us you know something wrong with
Right,
it. Stop
right.
playing. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
deeper than that.
Devil's
deeper than
advocate
that.
though. Devil's advocate though. It's like sometimes I feel like you don't know it's a problem until it's a problem. Like until it's a problem.
Yeah.
And so you've been and on top of that goes for the person who wants to grant permission and the person who has to get the permission. Like on both ends, it's like you don't even know that. And honestly, like this nigga probably could have been doing this slide up in the morning thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For a little while, like, and it probably was okay. And then, like you say, like maybe there was something that tricked me. I'm like, okay, wait, hold on now.
Yeah.
Like, or vice versa, like, you know, they don't. I'm just saying, like, sometimes the person in that feels like, okay, wait, like, don't know that they feel that way until they're in that position, and then the person on the receiving end of that don't know that they're in that position until they're in that position.
Yeah.
It's just like, so now there just needs to be an understanding of like, it's okay for you to feel like this.
Yeah.
And it's okay for you to feel like this.
Yeah.
It's so like, I understand why you feel like it's okay to just.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay too, but we're having a conversation.
But
that you
hey,
can.
this I do get that. Like,
Yeah.
hey, let me let you just know something, one thing, so next time you'll think about it twice before
Yeah.
you do it. Like,
Yeah.
maybe even just wait, like maybe just do it differently.
That's
Yeah.
some adult shit. Like,
Yeah.
the conversation needs to be had. I think
That's
we
what I
can
was
conclude with
gonna
that.
say.
The conversation
Yeah.
needs to be had. Period. So moving on from permission to please,
No? Okay, yeah.
You
What
think
you
we
about to say?
help given versus help wanted.
Okay.
So it's the next
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Well,
talk
okay.
about that?
Shh. Oh,
Help given versus help wanted.
Okay, help giving versus help wanted. I think that, and this goes into permission to please, because it's kind of like when you feel like someone has a need, right? And you feel like you can satisfy that need, sometimes the way that you feel like you can satisfy that need is not the way that they would want that need to be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though that you think that you are pleasing them, you are actually not. And so maybe instead of just going with the way that you would solve the problem, maybe to really solve the problem, you need to consider how they feel like the problem needs to be solved.
Yeah.
I want to say, I don't want to say paying my bills when I need to be paid. I want to say, thank you for taking me out to eat and
That's
paying
a
the
better
bill
example.
and
Yeah.
buying me food
What you good
and
with?
buy me flowers and buy me perfume.
But I would
Thank
like
you
you to show love. As
but
far
what
as
I
time.
really need
Yeah.
is emotional support,
Right.
affection, without sex,
Right. Right.
and time. And bitch, I want to play spades and
Right.
dominoes.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
that goes into the love languages conversation.
that goes into the love language conversations. And I think sometimes we get it twisted. We think that we're supposed to receive love and give love in the way that we like. But really, really, you have to, if you want to be given the love, cause we think it just out of like ignorance, just cause we don't start off that deep.
Can we get really real right here, because I feel like the people.
You want to
Like,
fix this real quick?
It's cool.
Okay.
As long as it's
We
like,
get really real.
playing with that thing right there.
Okay.
But no, Nisha, like,
Yes.
really real. You have been into relationships, marriages. I feel like you can really speak more to this because you kind of you provide it and you took those files. So when Shakita says how people feel like giving that love that we think you should have, like in your experience, like how do your experience being married? How do you know what to do? Like how do you show your love to your husband?
Well, I was going to say having the miscompatibility where they don't understand that you have to serve and be serviced in your separate love languages. If your partner doesn't understand that, that will be the number one destroyer of the relationship, period. Like everything goes downhill from there. If you guys are not speaking the love language, which may be a different dialect, but together you know what it is. Because it's always going to end up in arguments. It's always going to end up in strife. It's always going to end up in misunderstanding and resentment. But what I can say is I'm very excited that these type of conversations are even being had, because emotional intelligence and emotional acuity has not always been like number one priority.
But it really is, though.
But it really is. You
Really
know what I
is.
mean? And now, you know, that it's like a popular, you know,
It's a
like,
thing
it's
now.
a cool thing,
Yeah.
like, you know, to know your love language and, you know your emotional IQ and what makes you angry and what doesn't make you angry, and things
Right.
you can deal with and can't deal with, knowing your bottom lines to a lot of
Triggers.
things, triggers, whatever it is, because I think a lot of people on both sides, we all get in relationships and we have done no checklist on anything and wonder why it's not working out. Like when you start talking to him or her, you know, did they push that button right off the bat anyhow? You know what I mean? Did they smack and you was just looking at them chew? You know, things like you know what I'm saying? You didn't disregard all that, because that's your booski.
Right,
And
right.
now that he in the house tripping, you looking like,
I've never seen you act like this before. He been acting like that
The whole time.
with his mama and his sister the whole time.
You came and picked them up out front their house. You already knew what was going on. So, but you know, that's needless to say, emotional intelligence is well needed, and I'm glad we're talking about it.
Facts. I think it's a good time to move on to Truth or Sip. All right. So let's get into Truth or Sip. You know how we do.
You're ready to sit.
Truth or Sip, sponsored by District Daiquiri on H Street. All right, so my daiquiri tonight is the what? Uncle's Iced Tea. Oh, Shakita, this is kind of our thing. It's actually a half and half with whiskey. You know, we did have our rum with Jack. Though.
We did
Let's
have-
not act like we didn't have a rum with Jack.
Because it's toy.
So, and red. So, Uncle's Iced Tea, and you actually have the brown skin honey.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
And it's the strawberry margarita with the spicy kick. Oh, that's my shit right there. I
okay.
love. So shout out to Lamine and the gang over at District Daiquiri for
Thank
sponsoring
you.
our
Go
future.
ahead,
I said,
Crack it open. Tell us how you like it.
Let's see how it tastes, Niche. It sounds.
I do got a kick. It's different, but it's tasty and it's refreshing. It really is. It has a unique taste, but yeah.
Tell me about that cake, though.
So when I had told Shakita about these drinks, they are fruity, but they are kind of strong.
Yeah.
I think. This is how Truth or Sip goes.
Truth or motherfucking sip?
Already sipping. Okay, let's put it down.
So we're going to ask you a question, basically. And if you feel like you can't answer this question truthfully, just go ahead and take a sip.
Please.
It is what it is.
I understand the rules.
All right.
So you'll have the opportunity to ask Shakita and I questions as well.
Okay.
Don't hold back.
Okay.
Ask us this, like, we want a drink.
Okay.
This your daiquiri. We gonna see what you want. So I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Niche, have you ever cried during sex? And if you did, what was his name?
No. I can answer that right off, but what we crying about?
You never cried during sex?
No, not even like in the height of love. We got boo now.
Not now, not ever.
Not ever.
I mean, they're like, what we saying about? What we crying about? What are we crying about? I don't know. I mean, you know, it's a thing. I heard it's a thing, but no. No.
Shakita.
Well, actually,
Here she go.
I'm sick.
Yeah, girl, I think I'm gonna just go.
I mean, if it's a thing, it's a thing. Maybe I just don't know.
I mean, maybe it is. I don't know either. I'm just taking
I'm
a
gonna just
sip.
go ahead and sip on that one.
Because I just want to, be the best I can be to you all.
Okay, so
Oh, wait. Because you need to answer your own question.
I said I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you did.
she took a sip.
Sorry.
Mhm.
So, have either of you had like totally secret lovers that nobody knows about? And would you share their name? Hashtag not a secret anymore.
Secret
Yes, I'm
lovers?
talking about if somebody knew. She used to Yeah, it would be a thing. And y'all was like, shh.
I don't.
I'm gonna have to say no.
Because she knows, like,
I don't think
nobody
I
knows.
know.
Well, like the best thing, no, okay. I'm
Okay,
talking
but-
about
okay.
public.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where it get out into the regular public, whoever at the events and join and play a seat. And then people start talking about it. They might be like, oh, we
And you wanted to say names?
because we thought they was friends, but
You want to say names? I can't do this. You back?
Yeah.
I'll drink with you.
Go, oh, cause you,
Okay.
Not a
That's
totally
actually a good
secret lover. So it's still okay. I'm gonna think of
Now it's back.
I have another one if you're not ready.
please.
Okay. Nisha, have you ever peed during sex?
Ooh.
No. So this is another thing.
Let's
I
talk
don't
about
know
it.
if it's the gap.
Please, let's talk about it.
Because
Say it out loud.
I don't know if it's like the gap, but okay. So this goes into a deeper conversation about what is a squirter, who's a squirter, and those type of
And
things.
what it is
So
that you're squirting.
what I believe
That part.
is there's this newfangled definition of a squirter that includes some form of urination, you know, which is a total life hack. Like that's not what a squirter is. Like we need to take this back to 70s porn. A squirter
Oh
was
my
simply
God.
the lady with the bush who coochie got wet, because that's what you could naturally do. Like there are people who are like really, but all this shooting out like a bomb across the room and things like that. I don't know what y'all talking about because that's not physically possible. And I'm tired of them assigning all these new definitions that never included pee. It didn't include no foreign object. Now y'all want to add all this and that. I think that's wrong. That's I'll just
So
stay in the house.
you never squirted or peed during sex?
No.
Okay.
That would be a no. I say all that to say yes, no.
Okay. So I'm not. I don't know
Because
I do feel like okay. Go ahead, Shakita.
No, please.
Okay. So
I would
I'll
love
go
for you.
first.
Well, I could just say
Say
this
that.
one thing. So for me to hold my pee gives me a harder orgasm. So I'm going to be contracting, so I don't.
Okay, so what I can say to that is that's the reason why I have peed during sex, because you're right. If you're already loaded, like it's already that pressure there, so you're already like contracting
This is tea.
extra hard, and like sometimes
This
I
is
can't
tea.
hold it, and it comes out. But what I can say is, I'm not gonna say sometimes, like it's happened a lot of times. I feel like I know the difference between peeing when I'm peeing, when I've had a leak, and I'm squirting. Because the
Well,
squirting comes with the feeling.
can we just say
It's
you're
not just
peeing
like-
though?
No.
I don't feel like it's. I don't feel
But
like
of course it's gonna feel
It's-
crazy because
it-
it's
it-
matched with the orgasm, so it's not gonna feel like a regular pee.
No.
Although
It's like that. It's like that spot. Like it's that.
So it kind of like goes with it. Like, would you consider not having that sensation ever again? Just to, or is that like the ultimate sensation when it both happens together? Like squirt, orgasm, all that. Because if it's worth the feeling, fuck it, do what you do.
It's not even something that you plan on happening.
It just does.
I don't. Now I'm not as
But do you
advanced
like
as Shakita, because I'm not like someone that can like onset it like squirt. Like the squirt happens when it
Shakita,
happens.
you're an on-set squirter. I don't know if she was ready to share that. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
But there it is.
But you know, like some people can like offset, like they know what to do, and I'm just not there yet. So
I think
So we want to do it.
no. I think
No.
that in order to really have this conversation, you need to be like well versed in biology, and so I feel like you need to know exactly like what it is that is coming out you when it's coming out you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, as women, we have experience having sex before we've peed, and we have experience having sex after we pee. I do feel like that there's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do feel like, I don't know, like the first time I heard somebody say something about like pee being mixed into cum, it was like, ew, like, I don't understand what they're talking about.
Right.
But like you say, like when you have sex before you use the bathroom, it is like an extra, I don't know what it is, like, and honestly, if you have sex before that and like you release during sex, it does feel like you have peed. Now, I don't know if that's what it is or if that's what it, like I said, you need to be well versed in biology. I don't know how the body works. As far as squirting, I feel like that's a very natural thing.
But squirting from where?
Your pussy.
With
I don't
what?
understand. With
Because we keep talking about pee. Pee can't come from the coochie. It's a different
no.
hole.
Right. I'm not saying
the
that.
question was if you ever peed or.
Yeah, I'm not
But no,
saying
then
that.
a squirter.
Pee.
But
I'm not
That's what I
saying.
was saying. Some people still consider that squirting.
No, see, no.
I
That's
don't
not.
believe
That's
peeing
not what
or
we're
sex is
on.
the same. No.
We're not saying that
Okay.
a squirter is peeing.
Or either or. I'm saying it's fluid. It can be either or.
No, I feel like when I talk about a squirter, I don't think about pissing at all. I think about how the girl is coming at that moment. And at that moment, I feel like a squirter, like, pss, pss, like her cum shoots out.
Listen,
Hold on. And all women
All
don't
women,
reach
you
the
got
point
creamers,
where
all
you
women
got
don't.
murders.
All women also don't squirt across the room. So I feel like that some women can squirt across the room, but I feel like if you just negate this to squirting across the room, you're not gonna understand what squirting is. It's like you don't gotta squirt across the room, but the shit's still squirting.
It's still the same shit.
Yeah. Squirting refers to the fluid expelled from the vagina during orgasm. Not all people with vagina squirt during orgasm. So this only happens during the orgasm. And those who do may only squirt. They may only do it some of the time.
That's
It's
what
not
I
gonna happen.
said.
That's
It
what
don't
I'm saying.
always happen like this.
This type of orgasm includes a rapid ejection of urine from the
It
vagina.
comes out like
women,
quick,
certain
like.
women are
Squirting
some women are.
Squirting
But
sometimes.
some women are both.
Squirting sometimes also
understand, but it
involves
has to take
secretions
a
from the
certain
skin
type
glands.
of-
Skin glands are sometimes called the female prostate because they function similar to the male prostate.
So squirting it. Pee is
Squirting. No, we're not. No,
That's
we're
what
not
it
That's
saying.
the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
So squirt is pee-pee.
So that's what
That's
they.
what I'm
So that's what I'm saying. I
It
saw it
says
on
it comes from
social
there, but it
media.
also say it comes from the skin gland, which is also similar to the male prostate. So
Okay.
just like in the
And it also
Come,
said release of fluid. It
semen.
didn't say shoot across the room.
No,
either.
nobody never said shoot across the room. I'm just saying like it comes like
Squirt. What is a
like
squirt?
one that I've heard before.
Ooh.
Have you ever sucked dick from the back?
Ew. Y'all be on some other shit.
I wasn't supposed to
What
say
you
that.
talking about? From where? Now you
I
gotta
wasn't supposed
explain
to say
squirt.
that. Even Katrina gonna
Now you gotta explain this.
No, we could just answer. Oh, you know,
I don't know.
some women do it.
But I don't even know what quite you talking about. So what
Oh.
you mean from the back? So I gotta know, like, where am I at in juxtaposition to his ass?
Actually, that's not a good question because I wouldn't even want to know if you do that. Let me think.
One last question, Nisha.
Okay.
Would you cheat
Oh,
if you knew you
oh,
couldn't
that's
get
cool.
cool?
Oh no.
Even if you knew you couldn't get caught.
That's,
Yes.
You know me, I'm a serial dumper.
Yes,
I'll
I
quit
will.
you in a minute.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't have time for it.
Ah, what about you, Square?
If I knew
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Would you
get
cheat
caught,
if you couldn't get caught?
if you knew,
If you knew
if
you wouldn't
knew
get caught,
you wouldn't
would
get
you
caught,
cheat?
yes, I will.
Like you basically know you got.
I'm gonna go.
Like you got like a free pass, and nobody and she would
Nope.
never find out.
Nope.
You wouldn't.
Nope. Because the Pisces in me is not gonna do it, so I can say, bitch, I could have cheated on your ass.
Yeah, they will bring that up.
I like that
Yeah.
too.
I'm
Actually.
gonna go.
My first answer honestly would be yes, but my second answer would be no, just because like I always think about karma. Like even if that nigga not watching, he don't see. I'm sorry,
See, that's where
God
your
be
mind
watching.
is. Exactly, that's where your mind.
God,
is.
my it's you know what I'm saying. It's gonna come back. So I'm like no, like I ain't even about to.
I'm just gonna drink on that.
Like
So we're off the permission to please now. And we're going into this boundaries thing because I feel like it kind of plays into each other. So I feel like everyone has their own boundaries in their relationship. And I'm going to say this again. I feel like those boundaries change depending on the level of your relationship with someone. Someone that you're dating may have different boundaries for someone that you've been in a relationship for a while. So I think that we can just go off each other and express those boundaries that we, you know, as women think that are important or that we have personally, and then we can probably get some opinions from the guys in the room about their male boundaries.
Okay, I like that.
I don't want that.
Well, we gonna give them ours, so it's only best to
Yeah,
accept.
you gotta have both sides.
Well-
So, Keita, what are some, can you give us like story time? Can you give us like an example of a time when your boundaries were kind of like violated or not acknowledged?
Can I give you like a story time of where like it's kind of hard to find the balance between the boundaries?
Facts.
Okay. So like, you know, we're grown and, you know, we have our own places and, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, your man can just like pull up, you know, he can pull up, he can knock on your door. And like, sometimes like, you know, we like to be surprised, you know, but then sometimes it's like, you don't know what. And it ain't about like me fucking with another nigga or nothing. It's just like you don't know like what I'm on, what I'm about to do, or what I was about to do, and so, or you think it's about another nigga, so you just popping up whenever you feel like this. You feel like you gonna catch something. It's just like how do you find a balance between like yes, this is my home. You are welcome to my home whenever you want to be here, but like
Let me know.
like yeah, like where is there any consideration for me and what I'm doing, what I might have planned? And because sometimes it do get in the way, like you know what I'm saying. Like if I plan on X, Y, and Z and you pulling up with X, Y, and Z, it's just like okay, this is what I'm on now. I guess when I wasn't paid to do that for the day. But then sometimes it's like I like a surprise. Like I wasn't in here doing shit, so it's just like. How do you say like I
To
love
your man.
Yeah, you know, I tried it, but it don't go well. I could try to say like, hey, like I appreciate the surprises, but you know, sometimes like you know, but like you know, how do you say that, and then like how is somebody supposed to know like, oh, today's a good day to surprise her, today's the day to check in to see if I should come. It's like,
I think that comes with again communication with your partner. Like you should the bummer comes in when you feel like you have expectations to please this person. So that's one conversation that needs to be had, because if you didn't feel any expectation, you most likely wouldn't feel any kind of way really about them, you know, showing up. If they showed up with flowers and candy, you'd be like, hey, thank you for the flowers and candy, all right, see you later, and it would be okay because you don't have any expectation and he shouldn't have any expectation other than I wanted to give you this and then that's it. But when two people have an expectation, i.e. when he shows up, his expectation is you're going to drop everything and come with him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Your expectation when he shows up is, oh, he gonna want me to do X, Y, and Z. Want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you don't have those expectations in mind through communication, then surprises are okay because the person knows that if I wanted to bring them a juice, I can bring my loved one a juice without worrying about them getting mad. But okay, understand at the same time too, I'm not here to take up all your time because I know it was a surprise. You see what I'm
So it
saying?
has to be work on both ends.
Yes.
Because contrary to that, you can tell the nigga like, I'm doing this, but I feel like niggas realize we can have all this nice talk about, oh, well, if you had the conversation, but really when you're really in a relationship and you're dealing with someone's ego and shit that they'll deal with in the past, and you telling your nigga he can't show up at any time he wants to, he's gonna feel like, well, what the fuck you doing? Like, why can't I show up anytime? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And even women, like, why you not answering your phone at any time? Like, you should always answer your phone.
I'm one of them.
And it could be like,
We have a lot of work to do.
Wait a minute. What's another boundary?
I feel like they're going through the phone situation.
Oh yeah. So what do you feel? Nobody should go through your phone. Have you ever been through a phone though?
I have definitely been through a phone, and I have had my phone gone through.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like because him and I already had each other's passwords, it wasn't like a huge thing, but it was like still a thing. So it wasn't nothing to like argue about. It wasn't really much in there to like have, but it's still like, okay, like I feel like men play this thing where like they never go through phones and they're too good to go through phones, but it's like nigga, y'all be going through phones more than
more than before.
Like, come on.
And all the way through, you know what?
Right.
They done went to some block numbers, deleted stuff. They don't even know you can find
Exactly.
their phone.
Exactly. Shit you never even thought about.
They
It's like,
dress about MySpace.
you be like, damn, I should have did that on his phone. But yeah, that shit. Yeah, I think it's fucked up, and it makes me think about like what Nisha keeps saying, like don't fuck with a nigga who you feel like you gotta do that.
Absolutely.
Period. And I've also met women who just like I'm
But I
not
feel
about
like
to
to
keep doing
say-
that to myself. Like,
But you have to, okay, so it's such a thin line between that because you can say don't fuck with a nigga that do that, but it don't
can
even
still be
always gotta
dumb.
be the nigga. It could be you.
What you mean?
Who's like the nigga, you doing that because that's what you think. You're not doing that because the nigga could really actually be showing you these actions. You're doing that because that's how you are. Like that's what you think. Like that's the shit that you've been doing in the past. So it's like
And you have to do work on yourself.
but you also have to recognize that you gotta do work on yourself.
Yeah,
so it's
true.
a process.
Yeah.
So,
true.
marriage boundaries, Nisha, like, do you think that the boundaries are different when you get into marriage, or is it even a thing of boundaries?
I don't think the boundaries are different. It's just a reflection of, you know, when you were dating, and there probably are some more serious. It may be a boundary, but there may be, like, once you're married, you're thinking about things like, okay, you just can't quit your job because you want to quit your job. You know what I mean? Things like that. So
Right.
they're a little more, you know, heavier. One thing that I really think is a boundary, like, you can't stop the other person from growing and being who they are authentically. Like, most of the time we enter into relationships, marriages, and everything, and we have our view of what we want everything to look like, what we want them to look like, what we want our kids to look like. But it's not about the control of that person. It's loving that person
For
absolutely
who they are.
exactly who
And
they
you can't
are.
take that, even if they do it in the best form, even if they can handle what they got in the best form,
Yeah.
can you still handle that? And if you
Absolutely.
cannot,
Then you need to look elsewhere because it's gonna annoy the fuck out of you.
I just had this
eventually.
conversation. Because I feel like I'm dealing with that. Like, I feel like it's like, no, because you do it this way, or no, because you do it this way. It's like, no, it's just because I'm this.
Yeah.
And if it's just because I'm this, then, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then maybe I just need to find somebody who's willing to fuck with this.
Fuck
you know what
with
I'm saying?
this.
And not, you know what I'm saying?
Because they will fuck
Because
with
even
this.
if I do it in the best way possible,
Yeah.
that's still going to answer your problem. But whatever.
Probably not.
Another thing, and this is kind of like boundaries or kind of not, but what about like sharing, what about
Tonyo, we are recording this, okay? This is going on
Go-
YouTube. This is going
Not this is going on YouTube.
No, because
We really don't even want to do this. What are you about to say? Please, it better be good.
I was gonna say, like, you also have to know yourself
Yeah, that's
and not accept that best of somebody.
that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's the best of somebody, but like,
That don't mean it's the
that's the
best
best for
friend.
you.
Tonyo, that is life.
That's
That's
good.
what I'm saying.
so,
That is like,
okay,
That's
Thank
good.
you.
That was good.
But thank you, Bodia, for that.
I was asking for that.
There's the one
They right
thing.
beside you.
Okay. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay,
That
so
was
let's-
good.
Let's close out this boundaries conversation. Let's close out this boundaries conversation.
Okay.
Let's go to our last two topics, rather. Does chemistry equal compatibility? And then we're going to go to does compatibility versus character. So basically, saying you could for chemistry equals compatibility. Basically, saying like, you know, you can vibe with someone, but does that mean that that person is compatible for you? And then compatibility versus character is like, okay, you may be compatible. Like you guys can have a successful household, you can raise your children, you can be productive, you can help each other accomplish each other's goals in all these different ways. You bounce off each other, blah blah blah. But does that man's character, is that what you want? Like he can do all these great things financially or as a man, protect and provide, but that nigga can be a fucking weirdo, like, bruh, like, or you can be fucking rude as fucking disrespectful sometimes. So it's like, although this person is compatible for you, it could better your lifestyle financially, or, you know, just give you that household, that American thing that you were looking for, but you still have to deal with this person's character. So let's start with chemistry equals compatibility. Of course, I do not think that chemistry equals compatibility. I would rather be, and if I had to choose one over the other, it would be so crazy because it's like, can you really be compatible with someone you don't have chemistry with?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Compatible?
Yeah.
But isn't
And maybe we
chemistry
should look
part
up
of
the
compatibility?
We should look up the definition.
That's what I was going to say. I think chemistry is part of compatibility.
Well, not necessarily. Because I think that you can have a good time with somebody, but just because you have a good time with somebody doesn't mean that you can live with them.
No, but that's looking at it in its totality. I'm talking about individually. Like, compatibility is, do you find them physically attractive? Are they your same
I like
religion?
the
You know,
definition.
there's like a list of things.
I like the definition because then you will really know like
Yeah.
what you're trying to differentiate.
What are you saying?
He likes
the definition
that you should look up the
Mhm.
definition of it.
Yeah,
You
so
have to
we'll
know
figure
it
it
out.
out.
That's
You
what I
know what I'm
said.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll
Because we're just
know,
going off
like-
our perception of how we see
Feelings.
chemistry and
Exactly.
compatibility. Yeah.
And even that definition is a fucking.
Alright, so chemistry, the complex emotional or physiological. Let me read that over.
Or psychological.
Psychological. The complex emotion or psychological interaction between two people.
Okay. And what's compatibility?
Wait, because I think I do need to stay on this chemistry for a second. The complex emotional or physiological interaction between two people. I don't think that has anything to do with being compatible.
No, because it's really just I feel like the
Emotional.
word complex is important. And I feel like it's about like individuality and specificity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what that's about. So I feel like it's about like
Okay, so here we go. This solves it. Compatibility. A state in which two things are able to exist or occur together without problem
See, this
or
is
conflict.
Can I say something? This is
Period.
why I say it's either we can. That's why I say
You
chemistry
can have
to me is
chemistry.
can we have a good time, and compatibility is can we live together.
Yeah.
In my mind, like that's how you differentiate the two. If you have both, perfect. But we're saying like which one is more? Which one, if you had to choose, which one is more important? Is it more important to have chemistry before? In my definition, I'm going to just accept that. That's just my definition. Y'all might not agree with me, but in my mind, chemistry is can we have a good time, and compatibility is can we live together. Like I feel like.
And what's your question?
And my question is, which one is more important?
Oh.
Is it more important to be able to have a good time with somebody, to always be able to have a good time with somebody, or is it more important to be able to like live with somebody, like their traits just?
It depends on what your
They
end
have
goal
to.
is.
They have to. It's communication, like she was saying, and it also has to be.
But Tony, the only bad part.
Alright, so William proposed a good question though.
Okay.
Can you confuse compatibility with just making it work? Because you might not even be compatible, but you begin to do these things.
You make it work because of the chemistry.
Right. Because you have chemistry with that person.
Yeah, that's true. You can't compete. I mean, at the end of the day, we all gotta look ourselves in the mirror. We gotta say, hey, are we just letting it slide? Or is this what we really want? And if you are able to do that, then you know on a day-to-day basis that you just letting shit slide because you fuck with that person.
I feel like
But
if
Tony-
this person. I'm sorry. This is on camera. I feel like if you know
You don't
this
care.
person is filling your void and you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but filling a
are-
void can only go so far. Because at the end of the day,
They're like
you can
bombs.
fill a void, but if I'm clean and you dirty, but you feel like that void of me wanting me and wanting, and every day I come home I got clean up after you, I might prefer to just not be wanted. Like,
Yeah.
Like versus having to come home every day cleaning up after your bullshit.
So that's where your understanding of service has to come into play.
We not talking about service though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like.
That's also why. Go ahead.
So like you have to like willing to be able to serve.
We not talking about service.
I'm just saying like.
Well, that's not what we talking about. I understand that's what you saying, but that's not what we talking about. We talking about chemistry.
Like no matter what you doing, like
we not talking about that.
If you feel like you a neat freak and you know your partner is not.
That's not what we talking about. We talking about chemistry and compatibility. That's it.
Okay, let's stop right here. Let's just go into compatibility versus character.
Okay.
So, if I had to choose between compatibility and character, I think the two can kind of go hand in hand because certain characteristics of a person will
make them compatible.
With me. That's how I feel. Like if you were like me, you're driven, you get up at this time, and like we'll probably be more compatible as opposed to if you're more relaxed and like not motivated. Or you might just, come from a different background from me. But I do feel like different people,
right?
Yeah. What would you pick? If you like their character better, like the person that they are, like the things that they do, like their traits, their personality, or
I'm going back to because you're using a totally separate definition, and I too cannot operate outside of the definition that all of these things are a part of being
should
compatible.
We define character?
Because I think it's for me in my mind it's like a checklist. So am I compatible with this person? Am I compatible with their character? That's one thing that on the checklist. Sexually, physically, mentally, spiritually, like those are all on my compatible list. You see what I'm saying? So kind of differentiating between the two, it's like that's just one of the things on the checklist that would make me compatible. That's how I see.
So what about chemistry? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's on the checklist, but it's not really high.
I think the difference with the compatibility is just like the definition say. Those are things that occur without problems or conflict. Like that's just in your natural instinct. Like we know that hand in hand we can make this happen every day without any problems. But that doesn't mean that the chemistry is there, and that doesn't also mean that the character is there. Just because you can operate and do certain things without conflict. I felt like the chemistry and the fucking character makes it more complicated and more complex, and that's where the conflict can come. Like we got this, but you are this way, and this is how you do things, and this is how I do things. But this, we can do this all day without a problem. Mm-hmm. That's what makes us compatible on that. But these other things, you think differently, and it might be because your character, something you grew up, something you went through that affected your character, and like why you are the way that you are.
We might can go to work. We might both go to work. We might both like make sure we pay the bills. We might both like make sure like we got a clean house. Like those things are. We might both brush our teeth or both make the bed.
You might have bomb ass sex.
Yeah, but maybe you're drunk. Mm-hmm. Like that's in your character. Every day, like you just fucking drink and you're drunk, and when you're drunk, you're on 100. So maybe like that's like a part. And I don't know, maybe drinking can be a part of your character, or like maybe, because some people might say like getting high, like you getting high all day, like you know what I'm saying, smoking. I don't know if we're considering that like a part of somebody's character, but if it's like a habit, I feel like it's a part of your character.
It's your routine. Yeah.
And so if that's what you are, like even though like you pay your bills and you know I can depend on you for this and I can depend on you for that, and you keep your house clean, but if you can't do shit without getting high, and that's in your habit and that's in your character, like. Do I really fuck with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is that really like, am I really on that? So just like shit like that.
But I think it all too, and I'm gonna go back to I think it all, well for me, it moves fluidly depending on the relationship. Mm-hmm. What am I looking for? What am I not? Because
what's more important?
The guy that may get high all day or whatever, you know what I mean? But he does all these other things when he gets high all day. So what's gonna weigh a little bit heavier is if he's like, in a different tax bracket, you know what I mean? That might make me be okay a little bit with balance. Some shit. You see, so it's the compatibility. My shit.
But we know that because
that's what we said.
I think think we know that we can work with all these things, and I feel like that's what you do in a relationship. But it's like if you had to pick one or the other,
I wouldn't.
you need
You need all.
I need it all.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. But also, I would like to think about like chemistry over character. Like if you, in my world, if you can have a good time with this person, but like in this person's real life, they're not a good person. Like they just don't do good shit. Like y'all have a good time together, and they might not have done no fucked up shit to you, but you watch them do fucked up shit to people.
Yeah.
right?
It's
Or it's
like-
just not. It doesn't fit in your life. You can have a different status. You can have a different occupation. It's like I don't
I
need to
can't
be
really
in
be
this
a part of
this.
it.
Like I should
Yeah.
be over here. In these
Yeah.
shit.
Like, yeah, like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, yeah, you know, like just being in places you ain't supposed to be like, if I could go ahead, my whole fucking job is over.
I think mine is more character because
Okay.
I think that's why I'm able to go through a wilderness.
Amen.
I'm gonna get to the wheel. Get it to the
Because
wheel.
it's like we're having a good time, but once I get a whiff that something is off with your character, I'll move
I'm
on.
over. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that was a great show. I'm glad that we had Niche here. I'm glad that we had Tonio chime in, but we just
Girl
got
from the sideline.
this man right
You
here.
add him in.
Shout out to Will for helping us, being on site, helping us get everything together, chiming in.
Shout out to
Shout out to Scrap.
Oh,
Always
yeah,
showing
that's
love. Scrap up next. Cobble Cap.
Couple
With Scrap.
with Scrap.
These are definitely a couple.
What it do? Welcome back to another week of Aces. We got the OG True Blues. They just dropped and restocked. We got them at G-Town and Pentagon City Showroom. These kind of like a little sleeper. A lot of people ain't get them, but they just went up in stock, probably about $150. So you might want to grab these. Then we got June Sanders. Shout out to my man June. He just dropped these. These the Cool Gray 990s. It's a little popular, way popular in the DMV. And shout out to Big Boo. He about to be in the new Creed 3. He rocking the 990s and they too represent DC.
Scrap. Has there ever been a time as a man when you feel like a woman has like not respected your boundaries?
Yeah, for sure. I think women overlook the fact that men feel a lot of the same way as they do. And it could just come from a place that men don't really articulate and express their emotions the same amount like women do. So they left to make an assumption basically. So yeah, I go through it a lot. And it's just like, you don't want to kind of be rude or you don't want to be, niggas go through the same thing basically, yeah. So I feel like boundaries are important, even if it's like over flirting, over texting, over anything, like anything, too much of anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if that's not what we doing, or if that's not the understanding, I feel like it's always gonna kind of be like awkward at some point because it's like, it's not reciprocated. You liking me more, you doing more than I'm even intended to ever do. Like, it doesn't make sense. So, that's my opinion.
Ooh, talk about it.
And cheers, episode 2.
Episode 2. Permission to please.
Permission to please.
So we're gonna close out this show with an affirmation. And I am going to go with something that I stole from a BMF episode.
We with it.
And it's called, and I'm gonna say it like this: chances make champions. So, and I honestly believe that, like,
Amen.
every chance you take, good or bad, you gotta keep going. That's how you get to championship. Don't stop. We had a rough, like, last episode was crazy. It was a whirlwind, like, and then this episode,
No, it was
come in-
longer than 4 hours.
Yeah.
Baby girl.
This episode we come in, you know, some people weren't able to show up, so it's just like, you know, it's always something that's gonna be thrown that can fucking throw you off, but
And we
you
just
can't
keep
let that shit
going.
throw you off. You gotta fuck it, take chances. Took a chance with this motherfucking iPad, these cameras, these lights, and everything looks good, and this show was better than the last show.
Yes, it was.
Chances make champion. Shout out to Nisha. We'll probably be seeing her again. Keita, you got any closing words?
I absolutely do not. Shout out to Nisha, shout out to District Dockery, shout out to Cat, Scrap,
Showroom.
Will, everybody who's going to be watching this episode. We love you guys, and we are out.